Hi besties, I'm Lexa, and welcome back to the channel where we dismantle the American dream before it actually dismantles us. Today, we're talking about episode 2 of our survival guide, The Middle Class Trap. Or, as I like to call it, how to buy a house you'll never see because you're too busy working a job you hate to pay for the roof you're currently not under. We've all seen the vision board, right? The white picket fence. The golden retriever named Cooper, the suburban SUV that's larger than a studio apartment in New York. We're told this is making it. But today, I'm here to tell you that for most people, that fence isn't there to keep the neighbors out. It's there to keep you in. We're going to talk about golden handcuffs, why a 30-year mortgage is basically a voluntary life sentence, and why our generation is low-key obsessed with freedom while our parents are high-key obsessed with lawn maintenance. Grab your iced coffee or your herbal tea if you're trying to manage your cortisol. Let's get into the math of why the dream is actually a hallucination. Okay, let's look at the blueprint. The standard path goes like this. You graduate, you get a good corporate job where you use words like synergy and bandwidth without laughing. You get a raise. And then the voice in your head, which sounds suspiciously like a bank commercial, says, "It's time to settle down." Suddenly, you're signing a 30-year contract for a concrete box in a suburb called Whispering Pines, where there are, in fact, 0 pines and a lot of whispering about your overgrown grass. Why do we do this? Because society has gaslighted us into thinking that stability equals debt. We've been taught that if you don't own a piece of dirt by 30, you're failing at life. But here's the sarcasm-coated truth. The bank owns that house. You just have the privilege of fixing the plumbing. Look at this chart. If you buy a house for $400,000 at today's rates, by the time you're done, you've paid the bank almost $800,000. You bought one house for yourself and one house for the CEO of Chase Bank. Is that investment? Or is that a charity donation to a multi-billion-dollar corporation? And the worst part? Once you have that mortgage, you are captured. You can't just quit your soul-crushing job to go start a knitwear business or travel through Southeast Asia. You have to feed the mortgage monster every 30 days. That's not a home, bestie. That's a hostage situation with better landscaping. Let's talk about golden handcuffs. This is a term from the Practical Wisdom Files. It happens when your lifestyle matches your salary perfectly. You get a promotion, you get a nicer car, you get a bonus, you upgrade the kitchen counters to Carrara marble because apparently your toast tastes better on expensive stone. Before you know it, you're earning 6 figures, but you're still living paycheck to paycheck because your status symbols are eating your bank account alive. You have to keep that high-stress job. You have to tolerate your boss, Dave, who breathes too loudly in meetings, because if you leave, the whole house of cards literally falls down. This is the middle-class trap. You're too rich to be poor, but you're too burdened to be free. You're stuck in the middle, running on a treadmill that's powered by your own anxiety. I see influencers all the time posting, "Get ready with me, corporate edition," and they're wearing $500 blazers to go sit in a cubicle for 9 hours. That's not success. That's just being a well-dressed prisoner. Real success is the ability to say no to things that suck. And you can't say no if you owe the bank your soul for the next 3 decades. Let's do some girl math. Except this is actually adult math, and it's much scarier. Most people think rent is throwing money away. Okay, let's unpack that. When you rent, the rent is the maximum you pay. When you own, the mortgage is the minimum you pay. Property taxes, maintenance, the roof that decided to start leaking the same week you got laid off, that's all on you. In the first 10 years of a 30-year mortgage, almost all your payments go to interest. You aren't even building equity. You're just paying for the bank's holiday party. If you take that same down payment and put it into the S&P 500 and you keep renting a cute place that fits your life, your money is liquid. You can move, you can pivot, you can leave a toxic environment in 24 hours. The American dream was designed for a world where people stayed at one company for 40 years and got a gold watch. We live in a world where AI is coming for our jobs, and the economy changes every time a billionaire has a mood swing. Buying a 30-year anchor in this economy? It's giving delusional, and not the good kind. This is why you see so many of us choosing soft life or digital nomadism. It's not because we're lazy, it's because we've seen our parents lose their minds trying to keep up with the Joneses. And plot twist, the Joneses are broke and miserable too. We'd rather have a passport full of stamps and $50,000 in a brokerage account than a lawn that needs mowing and a $3,000 monthly commitment to a zip code we don't even like. The success stereotype says, big house equals success. Fancy title equals success. Expensive debt equals success. Lexa says, autonomy equals success. Zero debt equals success. Waking up without an alarm because you own your time equals the ultimate flex. They call it lifestyle creep. I call it lifestyle suicide. Every time you upgrade your life to impress people you don't even like, you're just adding another link to your golden handcuffs. Stop trying to look rich and start trying to be free. There's a huge difference. So, how do we avoid becoming a suburban zombie? 1. Redefine home. A home is where you live, not necessarily an investment. If you buy because you want to live there for 20 years, not because you think it's a get-rich-quick scheme. 2. The 50% rule. Try to live on 50% of what you make. I know. Lexa, the price of eggs is $100. I get it, but the goal is to keep your fixed costs so low that if you lose your job, you don't lose your mind. 3. Invest in freedom assets. Instead of a down payment on a house, maybe it's a down payment on a business or a portfolio that pays you dividends. 4. Kill the status ego. Nobody cares what car you drive once you're off the highway. If they do, they're boring and you shouldn't be friends with them anyway. Follow the 1 million within 5 years energy. Be aggressive about building wealth, but be defensive about your freedom. Don't let a realtor convince you that now is the best time to buy just because they want a commission. The best time to buy is when you can afford the house and the life you want to live inside it. At the end of the day, your life is not a real estate listing. You are not a homeowner or a renter or a middle-class professional. You're a human being with a limited amount of time on this chaotic floating rock. Don't spend 30 years of that time being a servant to a mortgage. Don't let the golden handcuffs stop you from taking risks, traveling, or telling a bad boss to kick rocks. The middle-class trap is comfortable. It's warm. It has 400 thread count sheets. But it's still a trap. If you want the house and the dog, get them. But get them on your terms, not because society told you it was the only way to be an adult. Being an adult is about making choices. Don't let your debt make them for you. I've been Lexa. Like this video and subscribe if you want to be free instead of just stable. And remember, stay itonic, stay skeptical, and for the love of everything, don't buy a house with someone you've only been dating for 6 months. See you besties next time, whenever compound interest makes us all a little richer.